incredible people who showed up. Obviously, a lot of people with the same cause in mind, being able to see each other, I think is pretty amazing. So thank you all for being here to witness all of this. So excited. Okay, if you don't know who I am, I'm Courtney Friedman. I'm a KSAT 12 News anchor and reporter. This is a cause near and dear to my heart, and I am so, so honored to be here for the second annual Souls Walking for Souls Walk. Before we get going, I wanted to make sure you all know, if you hadn't been here last year, how many great things we have going on tonight. Of course, we're going to do the mile walk along the Greenline Trail at 6 o'clock after our program. But there's also live music, food trucks, vendors, many from the recovery and community and services. So excited for them to be here. A photo booth, a raffle, a very special Texas Memorial Walkway. I hope you made your way back there to see it. And a candlelight vigil at sundown. And there are bathrooms directly behind us in this building. First, I want to call up my dear friend Kathy, who is going to introduce someone very close to her as well.
Hello. Thank you all for being here, and I want to have my dear friend and brother in Christ from Community Bible Church open us up in prayer. Pastor Andy.
All right. I want to say thank you for being here. This is an incredible opportunity to bring awareness to an epidemic and a crisis in our country. But at the same time, it's healing. Can we just believe in faith that God can heal the lives of families that have lost loved ones? Can we believe in faith that God would bring comfort and peace in this moment? And the belief in the God of miracles, one, that we can be a part of a solution that puts an end to further pain in our own country, but at the same time wrap our arms around family members and loved ones and just say in faith that we stand with you. I want to say thank you for being here tonight. Your presence makes a tremendous impact. So let's just go to God and ask Him to honor our work, our walk, and our efforts. God, we thank you for today. God, we thank you that when the sun rises and the sun sets, that you remain the same. You're a God of healing. You're a God of comfort. God, I just want to speak over this gathering. God, thank you that heaven is real. We thank you, God, that one day we will see these loved ones again. God, we know that they're with you in your presence. God, we know that you have protected them and brought them into your midst. God, thank you that one day that family reunion is coming. But God, there's a lot of work to be done on this side of heaven. That God, what has taken place in the tragedy of the loss of life, heaven's gain is our loss. And God, I pray right now that, Lord, you allow us as activists in this moment to bring awareness to a crisis that needs to be brought to the forefront of our conversations. And Jesus, we just say one who passes away taking this drug is too many. And God, we believe in faith that we can raise money, create awareness, and believe with linked arms together for a greater good and a greater cause, that God, we can be a part of a solution. And that's what we're praying for. That's what we're believing for. And I thank you for all those who've worked behind the scenes, God, to put on this endeavor and this effort. Would you revive them, re-energize them, redeem the time at the same time? Let them know that God is healing in Jesus' name. And all God's people say amen and amen.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. Now I want to introduce the people who made this possible, our angel moms, who I will talk a little bit about later. But these are the women who have made this happen. They've turned their pain into so much power. Look at the power in front of us. And I would like to have them speak now.
Thank you, Courtney, for being here today, and thank you, everyone, for being here today. Bear with me. Okay, so I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. 2 years ago, on June 11th, 2022, I lost my youngest son, Cody, to illicit fentanyl poisoning. He was a beautiful young man who loved music, books, gaming, and worked in our family business. He loved his family fiercely. His beautiful wife and adorable son, his twin, are here with us today. I love him so much. He had 2 big brothers that were his best friends, and Dad Charlie, that's here today too. Cody and I had a very, very deep bond, walking through so much together in his 28 years on this earth, that after his passing, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that he would want me to be a voice and help save others' lives. That's why I'm here today. I'm here for my son. I'm here for your children. I'm here for your spouses, fiancés, whoever you have lost. That's why we are here today. So I know for a lot of you today, it's not easy to be here because you have lost someone just like I have. But we are so grateful that you're here, and we hope that you find community in this group and feel some peace and love here today. Okay, my thank yous today. I want to thank Governor Abbott for being here today. Along with all of these incredible group of dignitaries who support our cause that I just love so much. I want to thank State Representative John Luhan for his unwavering support from the very beginning and for working diligently along our sides to effect change. And also, thank you so much for the Medal of Honor men that came and helped us with setup today. It really meant the world to us. A bunch of young men that came in high school that volunteered their time for our cause. I also like to thank the Bexar County Sheriff's Office for partnering with us, bringing awareness to schools, and providing us with their volunteer cadets that you see to my left today for the event. And thank you again to those Medal of Honors. I want to thank my dear, dear friend. Where's she at? Where's Veronica at? Fred, there she is. Our original founding member, Veronica Kokosi, thank you for the vision which established Souls Walking for Souls in honor of her daughter, Danica, who is forever 17. I want to thank all of our platinum, gold, silver, and bronze sponsors who are completely supporting our endeavor. I want to thank Kathy Posey and Dana McPherson. They were walking up right now. They've come all the way from Houston with their Feed Texas Memorial Walkway. If y'all have not seen this, you need to go back there and walk the Memorial Walkway. It's super incredible. It's incredibly emotional, but there are so many lives that have been lost from this poison, and they are represented out here on the Memorial Walkway with a bio. Please, either before the walk or after the walk, make sure that you walk through there and see everybody that's represented on that walkway. I want to thank, lastly, my volunteer coordinators, my coordinators that are angel families also that have lost loved ones, Crystal and Kimberly. They're here today helping us out. And I want to thank my friends and Monarch Trophy employees, Lori, Stephanie, Shay, and their team who have supported this organization since the very beginning, and they are wanting to fight fentanyl along our side. And lastly, I want to thank this dear team that is standing next to me, because without these three women, none of this would have ever happened. Martha, your love, support, and willingness to do whatever I asked you to do, and telling literally every single person she meets, I'm not kidding y'all, about the dangers of fentanyl. She's passing out flyers, she's talking to adults, she's talking to kids round the clock. She is awesome. Thank you, Martha. I want to thank Nikki. She's our newest board member. She's our secretary who has joined our cause. Nikki's enthusiasm, her professionalism, she's brought to the table means everything to us, and I so look forward to our future endeavors together, my dear. And last but not least, there's my ride or die. My right arm, literally, this girl, Christina. She's my fellow director. I could not have accomplished any of this without all your hard work, your knowledge, expertise, and countless late nights working on our website, working on our run sign up, just working on all of it, y'all. I'm so grateful to all of you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And with that, I'll hand it over to Nikki.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nikki Bowles, and I lost my son, Braden Lane Williams. He's over here behind Kathy 4 years ago to fentanyl poisoning, and just briefly, he was full of life, had huge bear hugs, loved his family, wanted to be in the military like his grandfather, loved his dog Noel, the Longhorns, his Mustang, and he was just full of life. So with that, I'm here today with other members of my family and a lot of dear friends, and I'd like to personally thank my husband, Matt, and for all of his support through this, my entire family, friends. Most importantly, I have two people I want to thank for being here and all their support would be Braden's siblings. Abby and Patton are here today and couldn't be here and made it through this without them and the rest of my family. So thank y'all for being here. We appreciate it.
I'm Martha Johnson and Jake Ryan. That's my grandson. He's forever 25. Jake is an amazing young man, caring. He had such a big heart, and for the homeless, always wanted to feed them. He called me Mimi. He was a gamer, and he was very good at it too. Now, the ones that don't know my story, Jake's mom, my daughter Selena, passed away with breast cancer at the age of 39. And she has passed me the baton. So I'm here, Jake's voice. I want to thank my family, my husband, everyone that's here. Thank you so much for supporting us. We really appreciate it all.
Hi everyone, I'm so grateful that you came out today for this cause because it's so important. I lost my son, his name is Kyle Eagle. He was 28 years old. He was an EMT, so he actually worked saving lives. But unfortunately he took something that had fentanyl in it, and on May 27, 2022, I found him in his bed, and he never woke up again. So I just wanted to tell you all that I know what a lot of you are going through. I understand it. It's the most painful thing that could ever happen to a person. And we're here today to try to get this not to happen to other people. We don't want this to happen to those of you who are not in our shoes. So this is why we're here today. I just want to thank my husband, Salvador, for putting up with my countless hours of being up on the computer all night long and sleepless nights, saying, sorry, I'm working on this stuff, I can't do anything else. And I also want to thank my girl, Kathy, because last year we did have a person, her name was Vicki. She was our secretary last year, and she helped organize a lot of this. Her and I worked a lot on this, but she had to step back because she had other obligations. She wasn't able to help us this year. But Kathy really stepped up this year, and her and I just, like, it was all day and all night. We were calling each other, like, what are we going to do? What, I'm on it, you're on it. So I just want to thank her, too, for everything that she has brought this year, because she's been amazing. And now I'm going to pass it back to our MC.
The angel moms. I think it's pretty obvious. I don't know how many events that I've been to in my life emceeing or just work or just because of things that are important to me to my core, but I have never seen something organized so grassroots like this by the people it hits the hardest. These women have lost loved ones within the year that they put this together last year. It is unfathomable to think of that amount of grief and pain and turning it into this. So I just want to commend them, and I will continue to do that throughout the evening. But right now, I'm so proud of all of you, and I'm so lucky to have met you all. Sad that it's in this way, but you're changing so many lives. Okay, so we are here to honor, we're here to remember, we're here to learn, and yes, we're here to celebrate lives today as well. I want that to be a part of this, celebrating the lives that we've lost. But we've got to start with the hard part, to address the severity of what's happening in our community and across the entire nation. When we say the word fentanyl, we know it is a terrifying substance, 100 times more potent than morphine and 50 times more potent than heroin. We know an amount smaller than the tip of a pencil can be deadly. And we know it has made its way into every other single type of drug out there. The leading cause for death of Americans 18 to 45 years old is fentanyl poisoning now. So if we look at it simply as a substance, we will never see the entire scope. It is so much more than that. I'm standing here because I know that this evil force threatens our families, our state, our nation, and all of our futures, whether or not we have lost someone to this drug. I personally know that because I've seen an incredible mother, who I love very much, Kathy, have her beautiful son ripped away from her by fentanyl poisoning. And in knowing Kathy, I have met too many other parents and grandparents like her. The faces and names you hear and see today when you walk the memorial, when you see these beautiful posters behind us, they're people. They're not statistics, they're not numbers. They're family, they're friends, they are neighbors, and their memories are not just here, but across the state and nation. That's how much change we are making today at this event. I saw Kathy find these incredible angel moms, each of them in pain, but like I said, unwilling to sit still. While they grieved, they dreamt up this event, the first ever Fentanyl Awareness Walk in the whole state of Texas. And their mission, yes, the first one. And their mission, so desperately necessary, the entire community and all of its leaders across the state decided to pour into help. Mayor Ron Nirenberg made the official city event with a proclamation last year. Local, state, even federal agencies have become involved, and they did it like this. Our governor here for the second year in a row. We are so grateful for that. This is a testament to the angel moms, a testament to what you've lost and what you're doing, that it matters. This issue, as we've talked about before, non-political. Neither red nor blue. Fentanyl does not discriminate, affecting people of all ages, races, backgrounds, and that's why it's crucial for every single one of us to join the fight, to educate everyone that we meet, to bring it up, even though it might be awkward or hard, and learn that we actually can make a difference. Speaking of making a difference in this specific scope, the leader who has claimed this subject as a priority and offered support to our angel moms personally is our Governor Greg Abbott. He has dedicated October as Fentanyl Awareness Month in our state and has promised to dedicate resources and changes to stop fentanyl poisoning. I'd like you to please welcome Governor Greg Abbott.
Well, thank you all, but especially I want to say thank you to the angel moms with us here right now and the other angel moms around us here today. You know, there's a saying, and if it's not, I'm going to make it a saying, and that is, there is nothing tougher than a strong woman in Texas. And that's what these women are. Not everybody can really comprehend what it means to lose a loved one, especially to something like fentanyl. And to have these moms get up here within a year after that happening, or within 2 years of it happening, requires extraordinary internal strength. And I've seen, as you all know, myself, what it's like going through a life and losing something when I lost the ability to walk. And what I learned in overcoming that is exactly what these women are displaying by coming here and insisting that they will not let the loss of a life and their family define their future, because the way life works is we are not going to be defined by the challenges that we face. Instead, we are going to determine our future by the way we respond to those challenges. And these angel moms and all of you are showing exactly that. And beyond the angel moms, I really want to point out everybody out here today. Some of you are seated, some of you are standing, some of you have been working for hours, some of you have just walked up upon this event, some of you are doing the walk for whatever reason. But I want you to think about this. When you do whatever you do tomorrow, you go to work, you go to the store, you do whatever you do. Some people may ask you, like they ask everybody else, what'd you do yesterday? Some people will say, well, I watched the football game. Somebody else say, well, I mowed the lawn. Somebody say, well, listen, man, I laid on the couch eating barbecue. Everybody here is going to be able to say something that nobody else is going to be able to say. Because what you are doing today, you're making a difference by what you are doing, and I can assure you what you are doing today is you are saving the life of somebody alive today who will remain alive tomorrow because you extended and expanded awareness to make sure that they will not take a drug laced with fentanyl. You are making a difference today, and I want to say thank you for being here and being a part of this. And I just want to amplify on what was said moments ago. Listen, this is a drug that does not discriminate. This is not a Republican issue or a Democrat issue. It's not even a bipartisan issue. It's a non-partisan issue where everybody can rally behind this cause because this is something that affects everybody's life and endangers everybody's life. We need to ensure that we gather together. As one thing, in a world that seems increasingly polarized, this is an issue that is unifying. Unifying behind people in an organization in an effort to truly save lives. I first got involved in this. Listen, as governor, obviously I knew about the dangers of fentanyl for several years. And we saw it on the rise in the state of Texas. But there was a moment in time when it became more personal. Not because it affected anybody in my family, but because I got to know someone here in San Antonio whose family it affected. And that is the Caprices. And especially Veronica, you'll remember the first time that we met at an event that we were together. And you asked me for a promise that I will not let that be the last time. And you asked me that I will do something about it. All I think we will agree upon is promises made, promises kept. I never forget because, and y'all will see this in some official photos that are taken of the governor's office. In the governor's office, there is a side table. On the side table, there's only one thing on that side table. I'm going to hold it up, sir. It's this picture. This is Danica Caprice. This is why not a single day goes by without me thinking about this, knowing about this, wanting to do something about this. It's been on my desk for more than a year now. It will remain there in the governor's office as a perpetual reminder, not just to me, but to all the policymakers, the legislators, the people on my team who come into my office and they ask, what is that? And they hear the story. And it compels their involvement going forward in the future. So we have to ensure that Veronica is going to be remembered. But what is our goal? Our goal has to be twofold. One, we have tremendous law enforcement professionals with us here today. We have to ensure that law enforcement is using every tool possible to get fentanyl off our streets. We must ensure, so we have with us today someone who I think is going to be speaking, a sheriff from a border county. He knows as much as anybody else firsthand what's happening and how it gets here. But it doesn't matter whether or not it's going to be stopped at the border, whether it's San Antonio or Houston or Dallas or Bulverde or wherever. It doesn't mean it's a large city or small town, whatever the case may be. Fentanyl is endangering every place, and we need law enforcement at every single level to make sure that we are going to save lives. Another thing that truly saves lives is kind of what we're doing today. It's called advocacy. We must raise awareness about fentanyl. As much as y'all have done, as much as you all know about fentanyl, far many more Texans do not know about it. We have a tall task ahead of us to educate all Texans across the state, and if we are able to do that, we're going to be far more successful in eliminating deaths. And that's exactly why we're doing events like this walk today. It's why we have education programs in our schools to make sure that we are educating kids. It's why I declared October as Fentanyl Awareness Month. It's also why we made that video this year about one pill kills. We did it with myself and with the head college football coach from each of the large college football schools in Texas, University of Texas, Texas A&M, University of Houston, and Texas Tech. All together, the 5 of us made an ad that is running at every high school football stadium across the state of Texas, educating students and families. As of yesterday, this had more than 1.5 billion views, ensuring a lot of people are learning a lot more about fentanyl. On top of that, listen, again, going back to what I promised Veronica, and that is that we would pass laws to make Texas a different state as it concerns fentanyl. We have Senator Donna Campbell with us here today, as well as John Luhan from the state legislature. Together we pass laws that reclassifies that a death from fentanyl is not an overdose. A death from fentanyl is now called fentanyl poisoning on the death certificate. We reclassify the crime because we are tired of these people pushing drugs and lacing drugs with fentanyl on it and killing our fellow Texans. This is murder, and now by law in Texas, it is classified and prosecuted as a murder for lacing a fentanyl pill and killing somebody with that pill. If you've been following this is more than law, it's been applied. I've lost track of the number of murder charges that have been brought in the state of Texas because of fentanyl poisoning. And then, of course, there's fentanyl awareness, and there's Tucker's Law. Tucker's Law is a law that I signed ensuring that we will be doing a lot more in our schools to educate kids across the entire state of Texas. If our kids are informed, our kids are going to be saving their own lives. And the last thing is, as y'all know, there is a quick antidote to fentanyl. It's called Narcan. And we're providing it both to law enforcement, but also to schools as well as other settings, so that if someone realizes that somebody else has had an ingestion of fentanyl, we're going to be able to save their life immediately with the widespread distribution of Narcan across the state of Texas. And then let me just close with one last thought. Maybe the only thought that we need. Go back moments ago and remember the sequencing of how this programming began today. The first thing that happened in the program was a prayer to God Almighty. My point is very simply this. If everybody here, if everybody not here, does one thing, and that is to put God first, everything else will be just fine. God bless you all, and may God further bless the great state of Texas.
Thank you so much, Governor, for that and for being here. We really appreciate that. This is somebody who you've heard mentioned tonight as well because of a lot of involvement in this topic. To truly get things done in politics, you need someone who genuinely knows and supports the cause and the families behind it. State Representative John Luhan is doing just that. He's made it his mission to take the issue head on, and we are very happy to have him here this year as well to speak about what he's doing.
First of all, thank you for being here and being part of this, and thank you, Angel Moms. I just want to share a quick thing. I know it's hot, so I won't be long, but I wanted to share a story that happened today, and it made me realize why we're all here today. In Somerset, Texas, there's a group called Men of Honor, and they're high school boys that get together, and they meet regularly to become better leaders, to become better men, to learn decency and integrity, and I'm just so proud of them. And I invited them to be here to help set all this up. Well, we had a little problem this morning getting some folks together, and so what we did, they were here early, and I got the boys, and I talked to Kathy. I said, Kathy, where do we need these boys? Where would they help? She said, the trailer had just came in for the memorial walk, and there's a lot of things that we got to get out of there, and it's heavy work, but it's a lot of work. And I said, we'll do it. I went over there with the boys. We started working. I got pulled off doing other things. The boys set that all up. Well, Mr. Abundes, who's here, is one of the fathers. He came up to me and he said, Reb Luhan, he goes, man, you did a good thing by putting our boys to do that. And I said, why? He goes, they're putting up every name and they're reading them. And they're talking about it. And they're hurting. And they're seeing it. It's real. You know what we just did? We created ambassadors to tell the story. And that's what we're here for, to become ambassadors. And so not only did they see that, and it was so touching, and so then after we finished that, the boys were over there, we were getting water, and I went by a family that I just met, Morales, whose son Brian had passed away. And Miss Morales shared her story. There she is right there. Thank you, Miss Morales. She started sharing the story with me because I said, tell me your story. And it was a heart-wrenching story, and I stopped her halfway. I said, stop right there. Man of honor, get over here. So I brought the boys in, and she told us all the story. She wasn't ready for it, but she shared it from her heart, and I know it impacted the boys' group. Why? Because they're going to be the ambassadors. You can be an ambassador to save someone's life. People don't know what they don't know. And if we share these things, they learn and they'll grow good. We need to all serve. I'm going to finish with this. I believe I'm breathing and living and here for two reasons. God created us to love Him with all our heart, soul, and mind, and to love our fellow men. We do those two things. We have purpose in life, and that's true service. Thank you for being a servant, and let's get the word out for the awareness. Thank you.
In the same vein, we talked about how important the support is everywhere. So we just heard from a representative, and we also need to hear from a senator. So I would like to invite Senator Donna Campbell up here. So glad having you here this year.
Thank you so much. Well, I'll tell you, I am a senator, but I'm also an emergency room doctor. So I've seen folks sometimes with very bad outcomes. And the governor had said we worked hard to get Narcan into the public spaces. Well, it takes one pill that can kill fentanyl. It can easily take more than one dose of Narcan. So the governor's office is making sure that we have enough Narcan to fight even one pill, but that we have multiple doses. So with that, Governor, thank you very much. And I'll tell you, he's got the full weight of the governorship behind this issue. We see it in the legislature. And, John, I appreciate you, all the work that you're doing in the House, and really for fentanyl awareness. And so our work is in the legislature, trying to make the laws. So that makes a difference. But the real difference is your advocacy, what you're doing. Because you tell folks, they tell folks, and as the governor said, what you say will save lives. So with that, thank you very much. I look forward for us still putting the full weight of the legislature behind anything we can do to save lives and get rid of fentanyl.
Thank you, Senator. mindset, which many people do, is it doesn't happen here. Not in my backyard. That happens somewhere else. It happens rural. It happens in bigger cities. It happens in smaller cities. But that's not only wrong, it's dangerous to think that way. And you all know that because you're sitting here today, but not everyone knows that. So that's why we have to fight it locally. And like so many people have said, be an ambassador of information. I work very closely with Bexar County Sheriff's Office, especially with Deputy Johnny Garcia. I'm usually bothering him for updates on stories, but today I am very excited to have you here and talking about this extremely important topic and what is being done locally in our community.
Good afternoon, I'm Deputy Johnny Garcia. Y'all are used to seeing Sheriff Salazar on TV a whole lot. I'm the individual behind the camera holding the camera. More often time for that. As today, Sheriff Salazar could not be here today and sends his apologies. Currently, he's in Dallas, Texas, at the Dallas Cowboys game, sharing a campaign that we kicked off just this past week, statewide, with the Texas High School Coaches Association. This campaign will be broadcasted today with over 90,000 fans who are attending today's Cowboys game. Looked at the game, and I don't think they're having the same success there. Among ones had yesterday, unfortunately. But today he's at the Cowboys Stadium where he will address over 90,000 fans to educate them about the dangers of fentanyl. We have partnered with the Texas High School Coaches Association and Dallas Cowboy Hall of Famer Randy White to launch this statewide campaign geared to raising awareness about this deadly drug that we all know, fentanyl. Our initiative focuses on educating young people at high school football games across the state of Texas. And we all know here in Texas, we love our high school football games. This important message will soon be broadcasted during halftime at local high school football games throughout the remainder of the high school football season and into the high school basketball season. We're making every effort to increase community awareness about the dangers of fentanyl. Additionally, we regularly visit area high schools with our One Pill Can Kill presentation. As Mr. Posey has been along with us, Ms. Drago, and some of the other angel moms, they have been critical in this campaign through our One Pill Can Kill presentation that shares alarming facts about the impacts of illicit fentanyl and opioids in our community. To schedule that presentation, we encourage y'all to email us at onepill@berry.org. onepill@berry.org. Also, at the Sheriff's Office, we have also revised our approach, as the Governor mentioned, to investigating and prosecuting suspects involved in fentanyl poisoning deaths, as they should be. Our response to a fentanyl poisoning is as thorough as it would be for a homicide. We are determined to identify and hold accountable those who supply fentanyl to victims, dismantle criminal organizations that smuggle this drug, but ultimately work to seek justice for the victims that it impacts and their families. In closing, I want to emphasize that the fight against fentanyl is a collective effort by all of us here. By keeping our community educated, through the continued dedication of our law enforcement, both locally and statewide, through our committed stakeholders, such as yourselves here today, we can make an impact on this fentanyl crisis. Thank you for your continued support and for standing alongside us here at the Bexar County Sheriff's Office in our mission to protect our community and save lives. May God bless you all. May we always remember and never forget those that we have lost to fentanyl. Thank you.
Well, when we talk about law enforcement, like we have so much already today, needing to step up, we need all law enforcement at every single level, especially those so close to the issue at hand, the ones who know the most. Lieutenant Christopher Olivares with the Department of Public Safety has a unique and incredibly important perspective to offer us, and we're so glad you're here, Lieutenant.
Well, first off, let me thank everyone that's here today, the community members, the media, all the distinguished speakers, everyone that's out here today, medical professionals, mental illness professionals as well. That's a very key part of what we do as far as we talk about opioid addiction or any type of drug. So I want to thank everybody for that as well, and also law enforcement and firefighters. Most importantly, thank Angel Moms for having me here today. It's truly an honor to be here to speak to all of you here today. I didn't get to make it last year for last year's event, but I wanted to be here for this one. So I drove up this morning, and here I am, because this really is something that I'm very passionate about. I've met a lot of great people over the years that have lost loved ones because of fentanyl poisoning. And I want to share some experiences through my career as law enforcement on the border and what we've been experiencing over the last 2.5 years. My name is Chris Olivares. I'm the spokesperson for the Texas Department of Public Safety in South Texas. And one thing I can tell you first off is, I wish that we didn't have to be here today to talk about this dangerous drug that has devastated so many families, broken the hearts of countless families across our great state and the country. But the fact is, we are here. And it is important that we are here together. Look at the amount of people that are here today from different backgrounds, coming together for one cause, and that is to help educate and raise awareness. And also, to tell the stories of your loved ones, so that their voices, their stories are not forgotten. That's very important. It's truly an honor to stand alongside all of you here today to help fight against fentanyl. My time with DPS, even my career in law enforcement, I've seen firsthand the amount of fentanyl pouring across into our great state. Every day, fentanyl is coming across the Texas-Mexico border, and our state troopers are stopping cars, are seizing fentanyl from drug traffickers on drug trafficking routes that are making their way into our communities. Not only from traffic stops, but also stash houses. Stash houses that we have found in border towns that do contain fentanyl. We also find fentanyl deeper into our communities. Dallas, Houston, Austin, even right here in San Antonio, we're finding fentanyl. And for those that say that fentanyl doesn't exist in my city, my town, my state, the fact of the matter is it's everywhere. And as you've heard, fentanyl does not discriminate, doesn't care about your race, your color, your religion, your political background. It only knows one thing, and that is to kill and to destroy lives. And many of you have felt that. The last 3.5 years, Governor Abbott launched a border operation, Operation Lone Star. And that was to combat criminal activity, to go after drug traffickers, and to seize illicit drugs, just like fentanyl coming across our southern border. In the last 3.5 years, our state troopers have seized over 500 million lethal doses of fentanyl statewide. That's enough to kill every man, woman, and child in America. It truly is just unbelievable, the amount of fentanyl that's coming across. And of course, not just our DPS troopers, but law enforcement across this great state, across the country, are doing phenomenal work, educating, seizing drugs, going after drug traffickers, putting them in jail. It doesn't stop there. Now, as I mentioned, I gave examples of how we're finding fentanyl during traffic stops, and I'll give you one example. Just past July, in the Panhandle, I don't know if anybody here is from the Panhandle, but in the Panhandle, we had a DPS trooper stop a car. This driver was making his way to North Carolina, and in that car, our state trooper found 12 pounds of fentanyl. That's equivalent to 2.7 million lethal doses. That's enough to wipe out the entire population of San Antonio for one traffic stop, for one agency. So without a doubt, fentanyl is an increasing danger to not only our state, but the entire country. And that's why it's so important that we're here today. We know for a fact that the Mexican drug cartels are responsible for trafficking fentanyl, for manufacturing, distributing fentanyl, and also making counterfeit pills laced with fentanyl. That's what we've been seeing over the last 2.5 years. And because of that, the cartels, they don't care about your grief. They don't care about the lives that have been taken. All they care about is making a profit. And that's why it's good to have great leaders in our great state that are standing up to these organizations, that are using every tool, resource, and strategy to go after these organizations so we can help save lives. Many of the people that are dying from this poison are not drug users. These are everyday people. College kids, high school kids, professionals. And all it took is that one pill that they took, whether it was at a social event, at a party, maybe they were cramming for an exam, maybe they had to stay up, maybe the stress, the anxiety was building up, and they took a pill from a friend, and that one pill took their life. And that's what we're here to discuss, how deadly this drug is. Just one pill. But it's more than that. We're fighting fentanyl and other illicit drugs, marijuana, cocaine, even in vapes. Think about all the people that vape, high school kids, college kids. This danger is being exposed throughout on so many different levels. And that's why it's so important that as law enforcement, our state leaders, the community, the media, to help us get this message out, to help raise awareness. So what do we do? I talked about, I gave some examples of the amount of fentanyl we found, how we're finding it, where it's coming from, who's responsible. But what do we do? From the Panhandle to South Texas, to West Texas, to East Texas. Well, it's important that as law enforcement, our DPS troopers, local, county, federal, everybody at all the different levels, that we all come together. And I can tell you for a fact that every law enforcement officer in Texas is giving everything they have to go after these drug traffickers from flooding our communities with this deadly poison. As a father, my daughter's here with me today, my wife came. My daughter's been with me to several of these events in Washington, most recently the Rio Grande Valley, and here today. And we talk about awareness and education. What do we do? What can we do? We constantly talk about this, right? Well, I can tell you for a fact, the governor mentioned it. He launched a statewide campaign, One Pill Kills, and also a multimedia campaign. TV ads, radio, billboards, social media. We have fentanyl awareness signs at every driver license office in the state of Texas. So what more can we do? What more can we do? You heard what the governor mentioned, 1.5 billion impressions. And the fact that this One Pill Kills campaign has reached millions of Texans really shows how important it is to educate and to get the message out. But where do we go from here, and what more can we do? Well, right here, you here, being here today, this is a step in the right direction. Coming together, law enforcement, the community, the media, everybody from different backgrounds coming together to help educate, to help raise awareness. That's why we're here today. That's why we continue moving forward with fentanyl awareness. Now, as I mentioned, this fentanyl crisis, we can't do it alone. We need everyone to help out. We need everyone to do their part to help get the message out. And as I mentioned, I'm a father. And my daughter's been to some of these events. And that's where it starts. We need to educate the youth, educate our children. They are the future generation. They are the ones that are going to talk to their friends in high school, at social events, on social media. We need them to help us get that message out, to help spread awareness. And even though many may think that, well, fentanyl doesn't impact me. I don't know anybody that has died from fentanyl. Well, the fact is it's a real danger, and we need to get that message out. And what better way than educating our children, our youth, to help us get that message out? I'll just close with this. I just want everyone to know that your loved ones right now would be so proud of the work that you're doing. So proud. And the time that you have devoted to raise awareness. Many of you have full-time jobs. You're raising other children. But you come together and put these events together and also help raise awareness. It truly is remarkable. I can't even put it into words. And even some of you are still dealing with some grief most recently. But it really shows how strong you are, especially danger moms, how strong you are. And that alone, fighting to be that voice for your loved ones, for the loved ones that you know that have lost someone due to fentanyl poisoning. Coming together, being united, we can help save lives from this deadly epidemic known as fentanyl. I want to thank you all for the time. And again, it really is a sight to see everyone here today, to have our leaders here, law enforcement, everybody that came out today to support this cause. I thank you so much. And again, it's all about coming together and also having our faith together as well. That in itself, no one can take that away from you. No matter what criminal organization, the cartels, no matter how powerful they are, the fact is that you are dedicated You're devoted, you're strong, and you have the faith. No one can take that from you. Thank you.
Well, decisions made locally must be clear to our local leaders to approve our resources. That's a lot of how we get things done. So that's why it's so important to have people like Bexar County Judge Peter Satai with us. He's also a platinum sponsor of the event, so thank you so much for that. We'd like to welcome you.
Hey, Courtney, I gotta follow all these great speakers? Oh, man. Okay. Well, first, let me say thank you, and what an honor to Angel Moms. I've reported for duty. I'm in my uniform, and I think my team from Bexar County is here. Where's Bexar County? Are you in the house somewhere? All right, there you go. They're here. Governor Abbott, elected officials, distinguished guests, for those that came from out of town, thank you for being here for this wonderful event put on by Angel Moms. I want to also thank especially all those who worked hard to make this happen. And thank you, Representative Luhan, for the Men of Honor from Somerset and having them help set that up. Can we all give them another round of applause? Bexar County has been on the forefront of fighting fentanyl. Let me give you an example. I came into office 2 years ago, and my first press conference as a county judge was to announce the award to our Bexar County Sheriff's Department of a award of, I think, $50,000 for Narcan, and as long as I'm the county judge, we will continue to get that allotment in order to save lives. And so I wanted to say thank you to the sheriff. Also to Sheriff Javier Salazar, also was instrumental in my first year to overhaul the training, the policies, the assessment of treatment for those affected by fentanyl. And I want to give the sheriff a round of applause for the efforts he made. I'm very pleased that my colleagues have unanimously supported me on Commissioner's Court to make sure that the dedicated funding of opioid money settlement, which is multi-million dollars, will always go to treatment and services to drug and alcohol addiction. That's my pledge to you as county judge. So let me just say this. This is a day of remembrance for the departed souls as a result of fentanyl. But it is also a day of remembrance and recognition for the souls who continue to fight for the future of children and families. May everyone who participates today, from appearing here, speaking, sponsoring, or walking the walk of the 5K in solidarity, be blessed for their caring and compassion. Thank you, and God bless their county.
When trying to prevent tragedy, it's crucial to involve the people who have the personal experience. They know the best. That's why we have the families of these victims involved, but also law enforcement officials who have been on the front lines. Terrell County Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland is a retired U.S. Border Patrol agent and Air Force veteran, and we are so happy to welcome him to his first Souls Walking for Souls event.
Howdy, howdy. First and foremost, I want to thank Veronica and Christina for inviting me out and the rest of the Souls Walking for Souls. It's an honor to be here with y'all. It's an honor to be here with the rest of y'all as well. It's a blessing. And I can remember, actually, I see Sandra here, of course, Veronica, Janelle, and Brandon. Y'all still, where'd y'all sneak off to? Alrighty. So I actually met the four of them at the first One Pill Kills Governor Abbott One Pill Kill event there in Austin. It's been just about 2 years ago now, I believe. So And we all continue to see each other at various events, not just here in the state of Texas, but also other parts of the country. And I tell you, it's just always heartwarming to see you and a blessing to be part of y'all's event. Y'all are probably going, where the heck is Terrell County? And if you don't know, it's on Highway 90, about 4 hours, depending on who's driving. I make it 4 hours, it might be about 5 hours. But put it to the west of here. And one way I like to describe it is, when you go to the cell phone store and you look at that big map of America, and it's red, the entire state of Texas and the entire state of America, except there's one little white dot, and that's where I'm from. It's a place without any technology, infrastructure. When we talk about the border, we have no manpower, we have no technology, we have no infrastructure. We don't have a whole lot of nothing, but there's not another place I'd rather be. Terrell County is my home. It's where I grew up. It's where I graduated. It's where I went and spent the last 11 years of my Border Patrol career. And I'll tell you what, I'd still be a U.S. Border Patrol agent, but God had different plans. Our sheriff at the time, Santiago Gonzalez Jr., who also was a 30-year veteran of the United States Border Patrol, he had a heart attack at the age of 55 and he didn't make it. And at that time I knew that it was time for me, with the time to retire from the United States Border Patrol, time for me to take care of the community that had taken care of me. I was raised there by my grandmother, but so many families there, actually every family there, including me as part of their life and raised me if I was their own. I like to say I was better off than really most kids with two parents. But being the sheriff, I tell you what, it's been a challenge. And I'll tell you, and to Governor Abbott, to Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Parks and Wildlife Game Wardens, Texas Military Forces, our state legislature, with the funds that we have received from Operation Lone Star, the manpower that's deployed to Terrell County under Operation Lone Star has made a tremendous difference in our portion of the border. Please, a round of applause for all of them. And not just for our portion of the border, the entire Texas border and the United States of America. It has made a tremendous difference. Look, when I took over the sheriff's office, we barely had a computer that even worked. Our fleet had each vehicle over 100,000 miles. We've been able to replace those computers, strengthen our fleet, add more technology, and as a result of that, we've had just over 1,800 apprehensions we've assisted U.S. Border Patrol with since I've been sheriff the last 2.5 years. And I have to say before I start talking about those stats is that in Terrell County, we don't have a crime problem whatsoever. What we have is truly a border security problem. We're the 10th largest county in the state of Texas, but we only have a population of about 700. And that's really where we get to spend our time is assisting the Border Patrol, assisting DPS, assisting the game wardens, all of us working together to make sure we're protecting our portion of the border. But I mentioned, I mentioned about that 1,800 apprehensions we've taken in the last 2.5 years, 183 vehicles off the highway. I would say about 170 of those were smuggling vehicles, and they were coming to places like San Antonio. They were going to Austin, to Houston, to Dallas-Fort Worth, a place called Santa Maria, California. I don't want to say almost every place, but we've had places from all over the country coming into Terrell County to pick people up. Deaths, we've had a lot of deaths, and it's, from illegals trying to cross our portion of the border. And what I will say is that historically, before this administration took over, we'd average about 1 death a year. Since this administration took over, we've had 42 deaths. That's a tremendous increase. And I tell you, it's not fun to go out there and pick up those remains. I found 2 last week, 2 individuals that crossed the border together that the heat got to them, heat exhaustion. By the time we found them, it was just nothing more than remains. So, not fun. But the part that's important with fentanyl is we haven't had a drug seizure in Terrell County talking about crossing our border in 5 years. And I can look anybody in the eye, I can look the governor, any law enforcement official, anybody in my community and say it's not crossing, and there's a reason why it isn't crossing. So when I was at Border Patrol, and we have a facility called the Sharon Marine Operations Center, and the way they would transport marijuana into Terrell County is they would fly it short of the border, backpack it in, and then take Highway 90, put it in the vehicles, and smuggle it to different points across the state. Well, with the Air and Marine Operations Center, we have the ability with radars to see those aircraft flying to Mexico, and when they fade off radar, they were able to give us those coordinates. We, in turn, would work with the government of Mexico and there are organizations that at that time were working with us. They would go down and make either successful seizures or destroy those clandestine airstrips, and that completely stopped the drug flow through our county. So that's something we're very proud of. The fentanyl piece, and I can tell you what the governor said is accurate. Narcan, we have Narcan because of the government, or from the governor. Through the Texas Division of Emergency Management with Central Turtle County, we made sure it was distributed to our school, some of our restaurants, and there's plenty enough for myself and my deputies. So that's been a huge success in our county. And we've been kind of sheltered out in West Texas as far as any fentanyl poisonings. I know Alpine, about 6 months ago, Alpine, Texas, Brewster County, they had 3 that happened all at once. And we've been there in Sanderson protected. But what I do want to tell you is that I again had the opportunity to speak at events. And when I go in and I look at the photos just like we have here, I look at the banners that are displayed, every one of those kiddos or those young adults look just like my own kids. And when I come to the events and I see you as parents or loved ones, y'all look just like me. And again, to echo the governor, it doesn't discriminate. And it can be stopped. If our government wanted to stop it, we could stop it. I can tell you when I was a Border Patrol agent, we had programs working in Mexico where we trained the Mexican Marines. We worked with different other federal agencies that would educate and train with other parts of the Mexican government to go in and do things that would definitely slow the stop of fentanyl. But we haven't had that the last 3.5, almost 4 years, and because of the governor and his actions, it's made an impact. It truly has. Thank you. The last thing I just want to leave you with, it doesn't matter who's going to be elected president, whether it's Kamala or President Trump. It doesn't matter. Your job is not going to be over, and I truly need that. And I'm here with y'all every step of the way, willing to help, want to help. Our job, not your job, our job is not over. To include y'all, it's going to take us to continue to educate, to continue to spread the message. I can tell you every time I travel, I'm on a plane and I'm talking to somebody, that there are people that still aren't aware of fentanyl, that haven't heard of the dangers of fentanyl. So regardless of what happens here in a few weeks, our job doesn't stop. And I'm here with y'all and ready to walk forward with y'all in this endeavor. Thank you.
We also have a representative from Senator Cornyn's office, Taylor Puente, and I really want to thank y'all for coming out because we talk about the distance this takes. We've talked a lot about our state, but it's across our nation, so it's really important that we have this support here today.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Taylor Puente, and I'm Senator John Cornyn's Deputy Regional Director for South Central Texas. Senator Cornyn couldn't be here today, but this event is extremely important to him, and he wanted to make sure that I'm here on his behalf to present a letter for him. So it says, Dear friends, communities across Texas have seen a staggering increase in deaths caused by fentanyl poisoning, especially among teens. Thank you to everyone participating in the Souls Walking for Souls Fentanyl Awareness Walk for your efforts to combat our nation's growing fentanyl crisis and serve as a powerful voice for thousands of Texans who have been impacted by this deadly drug. As the leading cause of death for Americans between the ages of 18 and 45, overdoses from synthetic opioids like fentanyl continue to devastate our neighborhoods in Texas and across the nation. To the parents, family members, and friends of the innocent Texans who have lost their lives to fentanyl, your stories will not be forgotten. I will continue to fight in Washington for legislation to raise awareness and introduce measures to prevent even more families from experiencing tragic loss. I've authored several bills to attack the fentanyl crisis, from cracking down on the drug supply chain to increasing access to fentanyl test strips that can save lives and more. I appreciate everyone in attendance today for doing your part to help ensure we don't lose even more Texans to this devastating drug. May God continue to bless your efforts to put an end to the crisis. Sincerely, John Cornyn, United States Senator.
there are so many people here today who are standing with us, who have been here supporting the cause, and we just want to make sure we're mentioning everyone who's up with us. Justice Lori Massey-Brissett is here, and we're so, so grateful for you being here. We also know that we have the San Antonio Fire Union represented. It's so important that we have people on every single level, in every single department with us, because it doesn't matter whether you're a politician, it doesn't matter whether you're a family member or you're just a community member. Hopefully some people in the park here came and stopped by to see what's going on. We all have a part to play, so thank you all for being here with us. I really want to talk about the medical angle that's been brought up, the Narcan, the naloxone angle. We've heard from leaders who also have medical backgrounds. This is crucial because while there are many things that we can do to make a dent that we still need to do, we have a tool at our disposal to knock out fentanyl. And it's a drug that reverses the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. It has saved countless lives, but could save so many more if community members commit to carrying it with them and learning how to use it. Because carrying it doesn't mean that you are ready to use it immediately when danger hits. So we are lucky to have with us Dr. Bill Dries, with the leader within the Office of the Medical Director with UT Health San Antonio's Department of Emergency Health Services, and we are going to get a quick demonstration.
I'm here to support the walk, and I'm here to support my family. For my sister, Nikki, is an angel mom, and we lost my nephew, very young. So it's an honor to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. How many of y'all have Narcan? Fantastic. I remember the old days. How many of y'all know CPR? The new catchphrase is, who has Narcan? If you don't know what Narcan is, this is what it is right here. It is an opioid or narcotic reversal. If you know someone who's been poisoned by fentanyl, you're going to have a little box, probably with 2 of these in it, and you can administer it. There's no needles. It goes in the nose. It's intranasal, and it's super simple. How do we know someone might have overdosed or been poisoned by fentanyl? Well, they're going to be unconscious. They're going to have pinpoint pupils. Okay? And worst case scenario, they're going to be having trouble breathing, maybe even not breathing at all. We want to get 911 activated as soon as possible so the San Antonio Fire Department can get there and help save their life. And if you've got the Narcan, you want to administer to them. Lay them on their back. All you got to do is take this, stick it in their nose, and press that red button. It's as easy as it is. Okay? Once that's done, make sure and roll them over on their side. We call it the recovery position. That's so in case if they vomit, they don't inhale or breathe badly, and we want to keep their airway clear. If in 2 or 3 minutes they haven't responded, they haven't started waking up yet, you've got a second one in the box. You can go right over to the other nostril and you can give that second dose. And then hopefully the ambulance will show up and the firefighters will show up and they'll have more doses and they'll be able to take over and rescue and help your loved one.
So the whole point of this too is this is free in so many places. There are a lot of ways to get this. If you want information about this, find someone who's an organizer. UT Health San Antonio's nursing school has a program, and I will tell you, this is the level of dedication. Any of these angel moms, you can email them, you can call them, they will personally deliver it to you. Personally, to your house, to your work, wherever you are. So there are ways to get it. It's not difficult to get. It's not difficult to use. So just keep that in mind. It is now time to get up. You guys have been sitting for a while, and we so appreciate you for listening to all of this, and hopefully you can take this with you. We're going to walk over to the big balloon arch. Oh, before we do that.
So this wasn't part of their agenda, but last but not least, I just want to say thank you to everyone. My team, Kathy, I love you, Nikki, Christina, Martha, Governor Abbott, the Sheriff's Office, all of y'all, John Luhan, oh my gosh, he's been our greatest supporter. And this would not be happening if it weren't for them. I kind of stepped back a little bit because
I need to relieve my daughter. And they did a wonderful job. And I just want to say thank you to them because this wouldn't be happening if I was still, trying to do this. It wouldn't. But Christina, I love you. Thank you. Nikki, Kathy, Martha, you're mine. You're my girl. Tell her I love her. Everybody, for being my number one supporter. And for being my daughter. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Let's get this walk started.
Okay, the resolutions. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so thank you all so much. Make sure that when you finish the walk, so we're going to go over to the balloon arch that's right there by the moon over there. When you finish your walk, please enjoy the live music. There's food trucks, vendors, a photo booth, a raffle, and a very special Texas Memorial Walkway that you've heard about. Please go visit that. And as soon as the sun goes down, join us. We're going to be doing a candlelight vigil right here.
And if you can give us about 10 minutes for the walk, you guys can gather up over there. And any other angel moms that are out there that want to join us, the four of us, Veronica, please come and join us to lead this walk.
God. It's so